Out front now, Democratic Congressman James Walkinshaw. He spent 90 minutes today viewing the unredacted Epstein documents, and he's a member of the Oversight Committee, which held that hearing with Maxwell today. Congressman, a lot to talk to you about tonight, but let's start with what you saw in that time that you were in there with the unredacted files. And I mean, we're talking about millions of pages of paper, so there's only so much you could see. But I know there was one email to Epstein that did really stand out to you today. The redacted version is on the DOJ website, which I'll show everyone. It says Trump's attorney arranged a 20-minute phone conference with Trump and quote-unquote Brad, and then everything else is blacked out. All right, a lot of blackout there. What did you see that stands out to you, Congressman Walkinshaw?
Well, over the course of the 90 minutes that I spent reviewing redactions, I saw a lot of redactions that I couldn't explain, at least not in a way that's consistent with the law, and this is one of them. This email details Jeffrey Epstein's attorneys describing a conversation they had with Donald Trump in 2009. In lieu of a formal deposition, they had a phone conversation with Donald Trump. And in this email where they're recounting that conversation, they describe Trump conceding that Jeffrey Epstein was never, quote, kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, as Trump has claimed, even relatively recently, that Epstein was not a member of Mar-a-Lago. He was a guest. He was never kicked out. Trump was asked if he had been on Epstein's planes, and he gave kind of a non-denial denial, and he said, well, I've been on a lot of planes. We now know the truth is Trump was on Epstein's planes many times in that time period. So it describes, according to Jeffrey Epstein's attorneys at the time, Donald Trump, in my view, not being fully transparent and honest in that conversation back in 2009. I don't understand why that would be redacted. There were no mention of the names of any survivors or any victims in that particular email or that file.
And of course, you know, since it's redacted as far as where we can see, right? We obviously can't confirm it because we haven't seen everything that isn't in black. All we know, of course, is that Trump hasn't been accused of wrongdoing. But it is incredible from what you say, Congressman, that this would all be redacted. It obviously is very, very significant information that you are describing it. So, you know, in terms of the names, you're talking about the names of victims were what was supposed to be redacted, not the names of anybody else. And your peers who were in the room today, also, they had a brief window of time, as you did, to look at some of the documents. Congressman Massey and Khanna say they found the names of at least 6 men that they describe as being, quote, likely incriminated by their inclusions in the files. And Massey just posted some more details of those exchanges in the files on social media. He says a Sultan, or maybe it's unclear, maybe someone named Sultan, seemed to send the email to Epstein that said, quote, I loved the torture video, and then says a well-known retired CEO is on an FBI document that says co-conspirator. Congressman Walkinshaw, I mean, these are stunning things that he is saying he saw. Did you see anything that led you today to believe that other men should be criminally charged?
Well, first, it's important to note there are 3 million files, hundreds of thousands of redactions, literally impossible for the 435 members of Congress. We could do 24 hours a day reviewing. We couldn't get through all these redactions, so we didn't necessarily see the same files today. I can say that I saw many names, including names in emails to and from Jeffrey Epstein, that suggests these individuals were involved in crimes or at least knew about crimes. And again, I'm not able to explain why they were redacted in a way that's consistent with the law. The Department of Justice has a legal requirement to explain those redactions to the Congress. They haven't done that yet, and one of the things we're going to do as a result of these reviews is push them to explain in a way that's consistent with the law why so many of these names were redacted.
Well, I think, you know, speaking as just a member of the American public, it seems absurd, and that the names should all be out there, right? That the goal was to protect the victims, and the people that you're describing would not have been in the category of victims. All right, Congressman Walkinshaw, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.